Have you noticed something that just doesn't make much sense? Every time I turn on the news, I hear the same thing. The economy is doing great. The economy is strong. Things are looking good. So naturally, I did what any responsible adult would do. I logged into my bank account. Apparently, my bank account didn't get the memo. I even looked around my apartment thinking maybe this great economy was hiding behind the couch somewhere. Nope, still broke. And I know I'm not the only one. Talk to almost anyone these days and you'll hear the same thing. Like, I make more money than I used to, but somehow I have less money left over. How the hell does that even make any sense whatsoever? If the economy is doing so well, why does it feel like so many of us are just trying to survive until payday? Now, before anyone rushes to the comments, no, this isn't going to be one of those everything is terrible videos. And it's not going to be one of those everything is amazing videos either. Because the truth is, life is usually a whole lot more complicated than that. So let's grab our shovels and let's dig in. Because I have a feeling this rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than any of us actually realize. So let's dig a little deeper. Have you ever noticed that when someone says the economy is doing great, they never really say whose economy they're talking about? Because the economy isn't one giant checking account that all 340 million of us share. It's millions of individual lives all happening at the same time. Some people are getting raises. Some people are starting successful businesses. Some people are watching their investments grow. Some people own homes that have doubled in value, and honestly, that's great. But at the exact same time, or the exact same moment, if you will, someone else just got laid off. Someone's rent just went up another few $100s. Someone's insurance premiums just increased. Someone is deciding whether to fix their car or finally go to the dentist. Those stories are all happening at the exact same time, and that's why two people can honestly look at the same economy and come to completely different conclusions. Here's another way to think about it. If someone asks you how your family is doing financially, you probably won't answer, well, eggs are cheaper this week. You're thinking about everything: your mortgage or rent, your groceries, your gas, your insurance. You're thinking about your electric bill, your phone bill, maybe childcare, maybe health care. Because that's how real life works. People don't experience the economy one statistic at a time. They experience it in one bill at a time. And I think that's where a lot of these conversations kind of go sideways. Economists experience the economy through data. We experience it through receipts. Neither one is necessarily wrong. They're just looking at the same picture through two totally different lenses. And I think we've just uncovered the first thing buried in this rabbit hole. By the way, if you're the kind of person who likes looking beneath the surface instead of stopping at the headlines, you're in the right place. I'd love to have you join us. So consider subscribing because we've got a lot more digging to do. So let's keep digging. So let's keep digging into this hole. You know, this whole thing reminds me of something that happened to me years ago. I remember getting a raise at work. It was $2.50 an hour raise. I was thrilled to death. In my head, I was already doing the math. You know, that's about $100 more a week, about $400 more a month. I remember thinking, this is really going to help. And for about 5 minutes, I felt like I was finally getting ahead of the game. Then open enrollment came around. My health insurance went up about $50 per paycheck. Well, that sucks, but I figured, hey, I've still got about $300 left at the end of the month. Then the next month showed its nasty little head. My electric bill went up. My car insurance went up. Still not sure what I did to deserve that one, but it went up nonetheless. And before you know it, that $400 a month was gone. It wasn't just gone. That $400 apparently got lonely, so it, packed its bags, picked up a few of my other dollars along the way, and out it went, and left without even saying as much as a goodbye. By the time everything else had gone up, I wasn't ahead $400 a month. I was actually spending more money than I was before I ever even got the damn raise. And I think that's a feeling a lot of people can relate to. You finally think you're getting ahead, only to realize life moved the finish line. That's why these conversations about the economy can be so frustrating. Someone might point to a chart and say things are improving. Someone else points to their checking account and says it doesn't feel that way. Neither person is necessarily lying. They're just measuring success in two completely different ways. Most of us don't experience the economy through reports or statistics. We experience it every time we pay rent, every time we fill up the gas tank, especially these days, every time we walk through the grocery store, and every time we swipe our debit card. And I think we've just uncovered another layer of this rabbit hole. The economy isn't something most people judge once a year. They judge it every single day they live in it. Okay, so let's keep digging. I remember a friend's son came over one day to help me move some furniture. He wanted to make some extra money, and I wanted to, save my back. As we were moving things around, he looked around my living room. He saw the furniture, the TV, everything like that. Then he looked at me and said, "You must make really good money." From his perspective, I was doing great. I didn't have the heart to tell him that half the furniture in this room has probably been with me longer than he's been alive. Been with me so long, I think the couch and I are in a committed relationship at this point. But after he left, I got to thinking. From where he was standing, he wasn't wrong. He saw someone who looked like they had everything together. However, what he didn't see were the decades it took to get there. He didn't see the years of working overtime, the promotions that I didn't get, the bills, the setback. Yeah, I had to just throw that in there. The setbacks, the times I wondered how I was going to make it to the next paycheck. He only saw the destination. He never saw the journey. And maybe that's exactly what's happening when we talk about the economy. Maybe economists are seeing something we don't. They're looking at years, sometimes decades of economic trends. Most of us aren't. Help. We're looking at this month's rent, this month's grocery bill, this month's electric bill. Turn off that damn light, turn down that AC or turn up that AC or whatever. The insurance payment, this month's checking account. Those are two very different perspectives. Maybe they're looking further down the road while we're just trying to make it to the end of the month. And here's the thing. Both perspectives matter. Economists are trying to understand where the economy is going. The rest of us are trying to figure out how we're going to pay for where we are today. Those aren't the same questions. And even in the long-term picture is improving, even if it's improving, that doesn't make your checking account feel any better today. It your checking account doesn't stop screaming, I need more money just to make it to the next Friday. And I think that's one of the biggest things we've uncovered today. Sometimes people aren't arguing over the same facts. They're simply looking at the same journey from two completely different places. Sometimes the biggest difference isn't the economy, it's the perspective. So, we finally made it to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Let's take a look at everything we've uncovered today. The economy and your economy aren't always the same thing. People don't experience the economy one statistic at a time. They experience it one bill at a time. How life has a funny way of moving the finish line just when you think you're finally getting ahead. And maybe the biggest thing we've uncovered is that perspective changes everything. Two people can look at the exact same economy and both honestly believe they're right. Not because one of them is lying, not because one of them is ignorant, which seems to be the word thrown around these days, but because they're standing in different places, asking different questions and living different lives. Maybe the economist is looking at where the country is heading over the next 10 years. Maybe we're looking at whether we have enough money to make it until next Friday. Those aren't the same questions, but they're both real questions. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Before we argue about whether the economy is good or bad, we should first ask, good for who? Because a young family, a retiree, a college graduate, a small business owner, and someone living paycheck to paycheck can all experience the exact same economy in completely different ways. And maybe instead of assuming someone is wrong, we should spend a little more time understanding why they see it differently. That doesn't mean we have to agree. It doesn't mean every opinion is equally supported. But understanding someone else's perspective is a whole lot different than just dismissing it. Because at the end of the day, the economy isn't just numbers on a chart. The economy is people, it's family, it's hopes, it's setbacks, it's dreams, it's millions of individual stories all trying to make sense of the same world. And maybe that's what we're really uncovering today. The economy isn't one story, it's all of our stories. You know, when I started digging into this topic, I thought I was going to answer one simple question. If the economy is doing great, why are so many people still struggling? But somewhere along the way, I realized maybe that wasn't the right question at all. Maybe the better question is, why do so many people see the same economy so differently? And after digging through all of this, I don't think it's because one side is smarter than the other, or because one side is lying through their teeth. I think it's because we're all looking at life through our own experiences. Some people are looking at charts. Some people are looking at their checking account. Some people are planning for the next 10 years, while others are just trying to make it to the end of the month or next Friday. None of those perspectives should be ignored, because at the end of the day, the economy isn't just numbers. It's people trying to build a life. It's people trying to provide for their families. It's young adults trying to get started. It's retirees hoping their savings will last. It's people doing the best they can with what they have. And maybe, just maybe, before we argue about who's right, we should spend a little more time understanding why someone sees the world differently than we do. That doesn't mean we'll always agree on things, but understanding creates better conversations than assuming. And I think that's something worth remembering, whether we're talking about the economy or just about life. Now, remember, I'm not here to tell you what to think. Hell, I'm just a guy with a mental shovel trying to dig a little deeper into life. So until the next time, just keep digging.